So I don't want to say the guy's name, but I knew a guy that I met here in Miami.
Yeah.
One of the biggest gurus, like ever. You know his name. But
we probably will be able to say off camera.
I don't want to say it. But you'll know who he is off camera when I mention it. But dude, he left Miami, and he says he left because he wanted to go live. And if I say where he is at, then it'll be obvious. So I'm not gonna say where he left. But
the Lord led me to leave.
I don't think he can like come back, or for like a long time. I don't know.
We're live. We got another episode of Adversity Kings, AK Financial. How you doing, Brett?
I'm pumped, man. Everything's good.
Everything's good. So we have Brett Linkletter, right?
Yeah.
Am I saying that right?
Yeah, Linkletter.
Okay, so I got it right on the first try.
Yeah,
do most people do it? It doesn't seem like that hard.
It's like people get it right, but Latinos have a problem with it. So my girlfriend's Brazilian, and dude, like the Portuguese accent with my name, it just doesn't work at all.
Wait, are you Brazilian?
No, I'm American, but I speak pretty good Portuguese. And
okay, I was gonna say I saw the Brazilian in the Brazil in the bio, right, on Instagram. Mm-hmm. Now American, but like what Americans are you?
I mean, I'm from California.
Okay.
Grew up in California, Orange County.
Yeah. What's the nationality though? Like from the grandparents?
Dude, I'm a everything. Like everyone. My German, Russian, little Irish. Yeah. And then my mom's side does have some Mexican side in it.
Yeah.
My grandma spoke Spanish. My grandpa did too.
Yeah.
But my mom didn't, unfortunately, which I'm bummed at. Living here in Miami, I wish I had better Spanish.
Yeah.
Like, that's the one thing I'm like, God damn it. But I speak good Portuguese, which there's a lot of similarities. So
I think I only know Bom Dia. Is it Bom Dia?
Bom Dia. Yeah.
Bom Dia. So I've done a lot of jiu-jitsu for the last 4 or 5 years.
Oh,
it's
nice.
Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like originated over there.
People always think like when I was like living in Brazil, they're like, oh, so you must know jiu-jitsu. I'm like, no, never done it.
Yeah, like, it's almost kind of racist. You know what
I mean? They all do it. But it's, man, maybe I'll try someday. Yeah. But I don't know.
So you grew up in California. What part?
Yeah. Orange County. And then I went to USC and then stayed in LA for 12 years until I just had to get out, you know?
Yeah.
It got to the point of, I think LA was great pre-COVID, and then post-COVID, the whole city just.
I've heard that. I have no experience with California aside from San Diego. I went out there a couple months ago. Yeah. Maybe like 2 months ago. I went to San Diego for a day. That was it. And it was clean. I didn't see any homeless people. Because my understanding of California was like, there's homeless people everywhere. Mm-hmm. It was clean, classy. There was money. It looked good.
Dude, they've cleaned up a lot in like the last year, I think, specifically. But I mean, I was living. Well, I was basically downtown LA for when I was at USC, which is a fucking dump. And then I moved from there to Santa Monica. Like basically everyone at USC goes to Santa Monica after. Wants to go there, live on the beach nearby. And then I went from Santa Monica to Venice, and Venice was cool. But it just, man, the homeless got so bad. I was basically on the border from Venice and Marina. Yeah. If you know the area, like the little peninsula right there, just south of the Venice Beach Pier. And I had the most amazing apartment. I had everything I could have wanted. Yeah. But dude, the homeless problem was terrible. I witnessed shootings on the street next door. Literally, not like I heard about it. I witnessed shootings. I saw the fucking gun. Yeah. Like I saw the gun. I was almost mugged twice.
Yeah. And they don't do anything, right? If it's under $1,000 of value, is that correct?
Yeah, apparently. I mean, so much has changed, but the big problem was like, man, I would be like, I used to surf a lot. That's the one thing I miss is the surf. Man, I'd go out surfing at like 6:30 in the morning, like right as the sun's coming up, and there'd be 2-3 homeless people right outside my door just sitting there shooting up or doing whatever. Wow. And if you call the cops, they won't come. Yeah. In fact, if you call them, they're gonna say, oh, we don't do that. It's public property. Wow. And so, I mean, I tell people this all the time, but I don't think I've said it on a podcast, but basically, I got rid of them. It was kind of funny. So we had like a little front yard area in our apartment. It was basically like a triplex. Yeah. And I'd go water the garden, and I would accidentally water a little too much over the fence. Like, dude, it's the only way. System or something. It's the only way. It's the only way they would go. Yeah. And so yeah, man, you really have to fend for yourself because the cops won't come. They won't help you. Wow. Yeah, it's sad.
Now, what was growing up for you like? Well, like both parents, were they working? Like, what was the inspiration to like make you who you are now?
Yeah, so my my great grandfather was a TV host, Art Linkletter, and I don't know if you've heard of the show Kids Say the Darndest Things, or old shows from years and years ago. But think of him like he was like, I mean, I don't really love Ryan Seacrest, but he was kind of like the Ryan Seacrest of the time, like a big TV host, right? And man, for me, he was just always a huge inspiration. My grandfather also, so he was my great grandfather. Then my grandfather also was in TV. And so, man, like my whole life, like I felt like I had to kind of preserve that name. Honestly, I felt like really proud of where I came from. But that wasn't the true inspiration that got me here. Honestly, it's kind of funny to think about, but it was, I grew up in a really wealthy neighborhood. And my parents have money, but it wasn't like my neighbors. I mean, man, my neighbors were multi millionaires. I grew up in a neighborhood called Emerald Bay, and if you're familiar with Orange County, maybe not. Not at all. It's probably the most expensive neighborhood in Orange County, or one of them. And dude, my friends, their parents owned the biggest companies in the world, and so I saw this insane amount of wealth. And again, we had money, we weren't poor, but I just, they were 100x where my family was, for comparison. So I saw that, and I just, they had one thing in common. They were all entrepreneurs. Honestly. So I was like, the only way you can truly achieve something great is you got to do your own thing. Or, you work at a company, you're like the third, fourth, fifth, maybe up to 20th employee, and you do something amazing. Hopefully the company hits. But yeah, man, I just saw so much potential at such a young age. And I was also just always very cocky. Like it was hilarious. Like my dad always tells me the story. He's like, there was this one moment, I guess, where I don't know. I used to be such a piece of shit kid. Like never put my plates away after dinner and all this stuff. And my dad was like, you got to put your plates away. I was like, no, Dad, I'm doing my homework because I got to get good grades to get in a good college to make a lot of money someday so that I can buy you whatever car you want. And so to this day, he holds that over my head and he's like, man, where's my Porsche? Where's my Ferrari? And it's hilarious. But it's a good question what you asked, by the way, because I think so much of what we do, everyone that's achieved any level of great success, they got to have that why. And sometimes it's a healthy why. Sometimes it's actually like a very unhealthy why. I think I was probably a mix, to be honest. But I'm happy with what happened. I
remember coming up in sales. I came from more of a desperate situation. No money. Both parents went away. But my first successful agent that I trained in the insurance space, he came up in a wholesome household, grew up in a phenomenal neighborhood in Pennsylvania, and his dad was a $1 million club producer for another sales company. So he grew up around sales entrepreneurship, bunch of money, everything like that. And he's like, it was almost, and his dad looks like Robert De Niro. So they're super Italian. And he sits him down, years ago prior to us even meeting, and he was like, man, what's the story behind success? And he told him, he was like, Sam, the story behind success is like you and Tristan. You have somebody that'll come from desperation. But then you'll have somebody like you that'll come from inspiration. So it's like, it's pretty binary when it comes to success, but you also have a combination of both, where there was probably times where you were desperate of like, dude, I got to get this, I got to get that.
Oh, totally.
Because I want it on my own. But then there's the inspiration which I feel like I lacked, but I also did have some as well. Like I was on a PJ prior to my parents going to jail. Because I think I was 8 years old. We were living in Arkansas, and it was this super rich guy I didn't know at the time was in insurance, and he had a private jet, small private jet, and I was on his wrestling team. And so I look at it, but like I think it's so vital to get that environmental inspiration. So I love being in Miami, like even though it can be like depressing. I'm like, oh shit, I don't have 10 Bugattis, I don't have a penthouse in every building. But it's inspiring, to see everything, to see it all, and like get around and like, oh, you can do more if you're willing to work for it.
I think the inspiration there is some people don't even know what's possible, right? They don't even like think. Like, dude, my girlfriend's Brazilian. She grew up in São Paulo, and now we're living here in Miami. But like, even she's told me like I didn't even know some of these cars existed. Or like the level of wealth could exist.
That's what it was like for me. I saw Maserati at 18, 19 years old, and I thought that was as good as it got. Now you see a Maserati, and it's like somebody's grandma has a Maserati.
Dude, it's crazy. It's crazy, but we're lucky just to see these things. Literally, like it's crazy.
And then you got the Cali money where it's like cars. What do you mean cars? Let's compare jets.
It's nuts.
There's so many levels.
There is.
So who were you closest to growing up? Was it mom, dad? I know, obviously different seasons in life, but like who did you really latch on to?
I mean, I'm close with my whole family, but
even a different person.
But I still talk to my mom pretty much daily. I think I don't know. It's there's probably a number of people in my life, friends and family, and here's the thing I've noticed is like, dude, as you grow, right, and you become whoever you're gonna be, I think it's natural to shed some friendships that aren't serving you anymore,
1,000%.
right?
Yeah.
And I think it's one of those things where a lot of people, they're scared of that. So like, for example, when I left California, it was only 2022 in October. So I'm still pretty new to Miami. It was weird. I have such a great friend group in California, but I had to get away from it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
In the sense of, I just wasn't growing. I mean, I started our business in 2015. We could not get over 200,000 a month for the first, what was it? The first year we broke $1 million. I'm trying to think. The first year we broke $1 million was 2019.
Yeah.
And
dude,
then,
that's incredible because that's 4 years then to just break $1 million.
Yeah. And then we were just stuck for years there. And then I left again late 2022, and we doubled the next year. We've quadrupled or 5x since then.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of us growing the business and getting to this point was I had to let some friendships go.
Yeah.
And I know it was hard because like so many people in California, for example, too, you don't know what's great until you see it, right?
Yeah.
So many people in California, they think they have it so damn good and that's all you're ever going to need. People to this day are like, why would you move to Miami? Like you were having such a great life in LA. I was like, are you joking me? The lifestyle I have here in comparison, you can't compare. And
is it the relationships or what would you say is the biggest separator?
Okay. It's like my friends in California, love them. They're awesome to this day. I still talk to them, but it's just the people here, you can't help but meet amazing people on a regular basis that are doing incredible things that, by the way, want to help you.
Yeah.
Right. So like I'll go out here and on accident, I'll meet someone that owns a couple of hotels or a couple of restaurants and I'm in the restaurant business and they want to connect. Yeah. Or like in LA, I don't meet people. Yeah. Like I wasn't meeting anyone. And if I did meet someone that maybe was a good connection for me, dude, they would want to like suss me out to figure out if they even want to make that connection for me or not.
Yeah.
Oh, well, like throw me your Instagram and you know, if you look legit, I'll like pass you on to my friend who owns a restaurant.
That's been the hardest part of like
it's
the
crazy
come up journey for me is like, dude, having to build up that like sticker credibility or something like that. And I mean, it's I understand it to an extent.
Yeah.
But I'm a genuine type of guy where it's like, dude, I'm gonna do the work. I'm gonna like genuinely communicate with you. And if you can't like pick up that energy, then like, it's annoying.
Well, it's just, I feel like what I've noticed from the West Coast to the East Coast is, first of all, people here just work harder.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap, they work a lot harder.
Yeah.
And they're more open-minded to meeting new people and helping you make the connections you need, opening up their network to you. California is more closed-minded. And I don't know, it's weird. And so like, the other thing, back to your question earlier though, is like, who was I really close with? At a very young age, I decided I was going to make my own way.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to get anyone's help to do it. So I've had this, I've never raised money either. I've always had this feeling that like, I'm going to do it on my own and I'm not even going to raise money. And I was always thinking, how can I do it without anyone's help? Like, and it's weird how I came to this, by the way. So like, I've worked with so many different coaches and gurus and all this over the years. Yeah. The one thing that helped me the most, which is the craziest, is I did hypnotherapy for like a year.
Yeah.
And it's the craziest shit I've ever done, by the way. And so like people think it's crazy and
who'd you
like
do it with? I got connected with a hypnotherapist.
I did it with
and he
the
lives
company
out in
is
Cali
I think the company was called Grace Space Hypnosis.
Okay. There's an individual I got connected with. I was wondering.
Yeah, man, honestly, I can't speak higher about hypnotherapy. It's like, so it showed me it's the craziest thing ever. It showed me that like so this is, I'll tell a quick story about it. I'm the way I am because literally when I was a kid, dude, like 3 years old, I'm being held by my mom at the pool. We were at the pool when I was a kid, and she drops me on accident on the pool deck. I crack my head open. I get rushed to the hospital, and dude, I don't remember this. Like I was 3 years old, right? I went into this hypnotherapy session and relived that moment, and it was the most surreal thing ever. I basically walked away from that moment thinking, I can't trust anyone but myself. I gotta make my own way, because even my own mom couldn't take care of me in this situation.
Wow.
And so even at 3 years old, I was programmed like, I'm gonna do my own shit. Yeah. And it was almost this like crazy energy I had even as a young age. Hey, I just told you earlier, like my mom and I are very close. Like I love my mom.
Yeah.
No drama issues, right? Yeah. But it programmed me to be like, I got to do my own thing. Yeah. And that sounds so crazy and weird and wacko, maybe to some people listening, but it made a massive impact on me.
Yeah.
There's just so many situations like that I experienced over the year through hypnotherapy that really, really pushed me to certain parts of my life.
Is it like the ayahuasca type?
It's kind of like that. Yeah. It's like, I would say probably the same thing from people who have done that I've talked to.
Yeah,
like,
I was going to say, I had my buddy did the ayahuasca.
Dude,
it sounds like, he's like, I relived all this. And
yeah, you
let go
relive
of this and let that
You
happen.
100%, that's what it is.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Wow. What was the hardest adversity that you experienced prior to getting into building your business? And was your restaurant business the first business you built?
No. This is probably like my 8th business.
Oh,
so
wow.
yeah, I did all kinds of things. I did, starting in college, I had like an app.
Okay.
That was a terrible app, but
yeah,
I thought it kind of cool at the time. It was basically like, if you went to a certain restaurant or bar, you could see your friends that are there on the app, like in live time. So I was doing a lot of stuff, even like hospitality, like years ago. And it's funny that I ended up here.
What drew you to hospitality?
Huh?
What drew you to hospitality?
I don't know. I think just like the social aspect of it. Like, I just like, I've always thought too, people got to eat every day, right? Yeah. Like if I can just direct them to where to eat, that's an easier sale.
Yeah.
Right. Or e-commerce, I did a lot of e-commerce too, by the way.
Okay.
The thing about e-commerce, which is great in comparison to restaurants, is like, man, it's trackable sales. If I want to sell hats online and the hats are $30.
Yeah.
Well, depending on what my product cost is, if I can run ads and see that I'm profitable with my cost per acquisition plus my product cost, dude, I'll keep scaling that all day long and I can track it. Problem in the restaurant space is they have no idea.
Yeah.
How do you track that a sale came because of an ad and they walk through your doors? Most people can't.
Yeah.
Right. So it was also because of this reason that I decided to join the restaurant space. I decided if I can solve the problem of e-commerce in the restaurant space, man, like this is a big opportunity.
Yeah.
But man, I did all kinds of stuff. I had a men's hair company. I did hair products and gels and pomades. I did. This is funny. In college, I had a girls' calendar. Yeah. It was like the USC girls' calendar. And the alumni loved that thing. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
I had an Instagram growth software tool years ago that we probably got to like $70K a month, and then I got out of the business. But man, you know what we were doing, by the way? This is the craziest thing ever. There's so many ways to make money in this world. It blows my mind.
It's insane, bro.
It's like, it's crazy. It's insane. We had found this software tool where it was like those bots that just like follow and unfollow.
Yeah.
But this is like 2017, so no one was really doing this yet. Dude, we found this tool. I forget the name of it even. It was $4 a month per account. No joke.
Yeah.
We'd buy that software tool. All we did, it was a self-service tool.
Yeah.
All I did was created a concierge service around, like, we onboard a client, we talk to the client, hey, so, what are some of your goals?
Yeah.
Who are your target accounts we want to try to gain followers from? And just did the software for them. We were charging $400 a month.
Wow.
So it was a $4 cost. We made $400 a month.
That's insane.
And we scaled that to get to like $70K a month.
Yeah. Until
the point where Instagram started cracking down on those kinds of companies.
Yeah.
But there's just, man, I think there's just so many ways to make money. And I was just always kind of scrappy to try to find a way.
Yeah.
The other thing is I only had one job my whole life. Well, two, I guess.
Okay.
One was working at BJ's Pizza as a host.
Okay.
Right. So hospitality space. And then second, I was at Casamigos Tequila. Early days of Casamigos before they were bought and how big they are today and all that. But I was head of social media, and I only lasted there about 3 months until I was fired.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why are you fired?
I was working on building basically my current company at the time.
Yeah.
And I think my boss knew and was like, yo, what the hell, man?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You got to work here or you're going to do your thing. What's going on?
Yeah,
like,
that makes sense.
I also was a terrible employee, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't do it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So when did you officially launch your current company and kind of explain like the concept and the birth of your current company, where you came with the name and everything?
Yeah. So 2015 is when we founded the company. And first year was just me. My partner joined on about a year later. And he's awesome. And thank God we found each other to work on this together because we're so polar opposites. The original company name was Misfit Media. And we were a marketing agency.
Okay.
That was... man, we serviced like anyone and everyone. It was like, oh, like if you got a business and you're operating, like we'll help you. Like, and it was so stupid because we were generalists at everything, but we weren't really good at anything.
Yeah.
Right. We used to joke that like, we'll do your website, we'll do your social media, we'll do your ads. Fuck, you want us to like, help you move your fridge? Like we got you too. Like, dude, we did anything, right? So, we never really grew it that big. I think the most we ever got was like 50K a month back in the early days. And we went from Misfit Media and then we started doing some influencer stuff and we basically niched down on paid advertising because, man, I couldn't work with this. Being an influencer agency, I knew that path for me wasn't the right one. It was a lot of, I felt like I was babysitting so many people. Right.
Yeah.
And so I found paid ads and I was like, paid ads are great because like I don't have to talk to anyone. I can just like run ads and scale and track sales and hell yeah, right?
Yeah.
So we niched on paid ads and then we grew a little bit more, which was great. Our niche now is good. Anybody think about starting an agency, be niche, like fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we found restaurants and it was kind of by accident and man, e-commerce brands wanted to like double in size every like 90 days. I mean, the demands were insane. And restaurants were like, bro, if we grow 7% a year, like we're happy.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So like, it was way easier to show success. And what I learned is, man, like the restaurant space is so behind when it came to e-commerce that like, it didn't take a whole lot for me to blow their minds with some basic e-commerce principles.
Yeah.
Right. So we started picking up more restaurants and it got to the point where like, this is way better. Like we're going to drop. So we dropped all of our e-commerce brands, literally fired them all.
Yeah.
Or handed them off to some other partner agencies, focused on restaurants. And then we had a name change to Dineline, which is now our current business. And that was the best choice I ever made. And we've grown ever since. Now Dishio, the hat I'm wearing. Am I wearing Dishio hat? Yeah. I got so many different hats. I forget what I'm wearing these days. Dishio is a product of Dineline. It's basically a software tool.
Okay.
And it's a self-service software tool, SaaS tool, for restaurants to help them grow their brand essentially. But it does a lot of the things that we've been able to accomplish as an agency, but as a software tool. Yeah. So our agency can be very expensive for a lot of restaurants, and a lot of restaurants won't even qualify to work with us on the agency level. But the software, man, if you're in business and you're a restaurant, like you can benefit from it. Yeah. So that's where we're really starting to push.
It's more like a lower ticket for like the smaller restaurants.
Yeah, $200 a month. Now, so it's easy.
Now the higher ticket, what do the qualifications look like? Is it a restaurant doing $5 million a year, $10 million a year, or is it more so their profit margin?
$1 million a year is the minimum we work at. Yeah. But ideally, we like guys doing at least 2 or 3 mil. Yeah. Because if you're not doing $1 million, man, there's a lot to get fixed before you run ads.
And what's your biggest promise when you like you sit down? Let's say I'm running Poppy Steak. You know what I mean? We're doing, I don't know what they're doing a year.
Yeah.
It's got to be a good amount.
Dude, they're probably doing like $3 million a month.
Yeah. They're probably do you work with like any of the major restaurants in Miami?
Poppy Steak, I'm working on. Yeah. They're part of Groot Hospitality, right? So
is it a group that owns like?
Yeah, Groot Hospitality owns Casadona, them, Komodo,
Carbone.
That's Major Food Group.
I love eating there.
So Major Food Group is awesome. The problem with them for us was it's funny. So you know how like they have these giant menus. Yeah, like that's their thing. Yeah. Well, dude, I'm the
massive menu when you go to Carbone. It's like
massive. Well, I'm the digital menu guy. Yeah. So you know,
is that part of the offer? Is that like, hey, we're going to come in and digitalize your menu?
So I'll walk you through it. So there's the agency side and there's a software side. So on the agency side, basically our offer is, hey, we'll grow your brand by 10 to 20% in the first 90 days.
Yeah.
And we guarantee a minimum of 750 customers in that time period, or we work for free until we deliver. So that's like the ad textbook offer.
Yeah.
Right.
That's unbeatable.
Yeah. Which is great for a lot of brands. I'm like, you're not going to lose, dude. Like,
yeah.
It's like, sign up, Jesus. So what we actually do though is, man, we run ads on every platform for a business, but we actually focus more so on Google. And I like Google more than Meta because we have store visit tracking.
Yeah.
So I can run an ad on Google and I can see that whether you saw my ad or clicked, that you arrived at the restaurant through tracking the location on your cell phone.
Yeah.
The little blue dot you have on Google Maps.
Yeah.
I have that on every single person.
And that's
that looks
through
at our
Google?
ads. Through Google.
Wow.
Yeah. So here's what gets more fun though with our product. So if I run an ad on Google, I get you to the restaurant. I can track a store visit, and in many cases, I can also track a credit card swipe on the point of sale.
Yeah.
So that's my attribution to see that it worked, right? Yeah. And remember, my clients before working with me, man, they don't know how to get customers. They don't even know how to track sales.
Yeah.
They're looking at like, oh, like how many likes you got on my Instagram? I'm like, dude, you can't deposit likes into the bank. So
it's not a conversion metric.
Why are you focusing on that, right?
Yeah.
So we run the ad through Google. We get you to come to the restaurant. At the restaurants, ideally, you're also using our software. Okay. And our software, there's a QR code NFC product at every table. Well, it's a digital menu, but it's so much more than that. So when you scan that, I pick up
all the information,
everything on the customer.
Yeah.
So it allows me to remarket to those guests across any channel.
Yeah.
So I drive the traffic in for cheap through Google, and I'm talking like, dude, like $2 acquisition costs.
Way smaller than Meta.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Me and my girl are working on Google Ads right now, so I can't wait to talk about this.
I can geek out on Google with you all day long.
So is it SEO? Like what I just saw this say, is that what the Google Ads are? Is that the SEO?
SEO is search engine optimization.
Okay.
That's organic. We're on the paid front.
That's like data scraping then. Is that what SEO would be, or am I just throwing words out?
No, not data scraping. That's like, so if you want to like raise your SEO, we're talking about like getting lots of hits to your website and backlinks.
So like your familiarity, how liked you are through Google. Does that make sense?
Yeah, Google's gonna rank you organically.
Yeah.
I'm a paid guy. I'm a hardcore
to
paid
skip
guy.
the process.
Yeah, and I focus on what's called Performance Max, or they call it PMax campaigns. And the thing is though too, is specifically for what I do in the restaurant space, no one can do it. And the reason they can't do it is because you need to be spending like $300K a month to even unlock this tool.
Some guys, I start to like pull apart their business, or I don't want to talk about it. I'm like, you don't want to talk about it, then it might be easy to replicate. But now when I sit down with someone that's like myself, I will rip everything out, every detail in regard to how I built my insurance business. Yeah. Because some of the major variables are a shit ton of reps, time, and a shit ton of money. Yeah. And usually when I look at competitors, I'm like, you're not going to pay that. You're not going to spend the time for that. Yes. And if you do, all kudos to you. I look for more competition. You know
100%. It's one of those things where, dude, when you're an agency, and especially these days, I swear to God, like so many agencies have done something terrible for a client in the past across the world. So marketing, like I swear to God, today versus 5 years ago, it's harder to sell marketing services because there was like that wave of everyone starting an agency. Bro. You remember that? Everyone. Yes. It was like insane, right?
Yeah, dude. A couple years ago, I really started to notice because I started to see everybody started calling themselves an SMMA, a social media marketing agency. And like you'd see 14-year-olds saying, I'm making $1 million a month. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Dude, they're all lying.
And I interviewed a couple and I was like, okay, hey, let's go out. Here's when I knew it was a real lie, is I went out to a little dinner with some. And they shared a menu, and I'm like, that's cool. You know what I mean? Like, you're making $100,000 a month, though. If you're making I don't know, like if you're making $100,000 a month, you're not sharing a menu. I don't care where we go, and I don't care if your profit margin's 10-20%. You still have 10-20 grand to spend. Yeah, Poppy steak's $1,000 if you go with two people. So I'm sitting there thinking like, doesn't make sense if I'm making $100,000 a month. What's going on? Share the menu. Then they asked to split the bill, and I was like, I do life insurance, but I'll take care of the bill. You know what I mean? So like super simple. And I was like, I'm such a big believer in proof of. You don't need to like have that crazy lifestyle, but like proof of receipt, proof of like gross income, net income. Man, like, what are you actually doing?
Honestly, like it's funny because like I literally train my sales reps on our competition is not just other agencies. Our competition is literally the restaurant owner's nephew who fucking graduated from ASU with a minor in marketing.
Yeah.
Because they think that it's like that simple.
Yeah.
I swear to God, because everyone does marketing now.
Everybody, dude. I paid so much money
crazy.
on like, and then we sit down. I remember, in process of doing more lead generation for our insurance company.
Yeah.
We pay a couple guys to go over some different things. I'm like, they're literally just opening up, boost a story through Meta.
Yeah.
And just like, this was just $5,000 gone. This is $2,000 gone. I'm like, a piece of me is like, fuck, I'll just start selling this and just start telling people like, hey, I'm a marketer.
Yeah.
Let's go through the ads. I'll sit down, hit boost this. And I was like, dude, it's got to be a lot more detailed. You actually have to have data collected and proof of like results of here's how I can help you.
Well, man, I think what happened, to be honest, is like there's people today, like, okay, Alex Hormozi, for example, who's like a god to so many of these like new marketers.
Yes.
And what happened is you have this phase now in society where people got so good at lead generation and sales, but they have all shit products.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Oh my God.
Product.
I love Alex Hormozi. I'm not downplaying him at all. I think he's amazing and we can learn so much from him. But he's not a visionary in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right. Like I grew up admiring Steve Jobs. Yeah. Elon Musk. Like those guys for me were like, they're truly making an impact in the world.
Yeah.
You could see the same about Hormozi. He's helped tons of people, and the guy's a genius.
Yeah.
But I don't like look up to him. Like I feel like some people, they're like, if I can just learn sales and marketing, and I'm like, what about the product, dude?
Yeah.
Like Steve Jobs' obsession with the iPhone. That's my obsession, building a product, not becoming a lead genius.
Yeah.
I'm a marketer, right?
Have you ever
but
met
still,
Ty
that's
Lopez?
how I feel.
I apologize. You ever met Ty Lopez?
I've never met him, but I know who he is.
Dude, he just posted something the other day, and he's like, he was basically commenting exactly like you did.
Oh, interesting.
And he was saying like, dude, you can have $1 billion market, marketing strategy, and have absolute control over the marketing. If you have a shit product, you will never really have $1 billion company.
Yep, exactly.
Yep. You have to have an impeccable product and impeccable marketing.
Dude, 100%. I forget who said this. You know, Sam, what's his name? The consulting guru, Sam. He's a partner of Alex Hormozi.
Oh, no. I know Hormozi.
Sam Ovens. You know Sam Ovens?
No,
you know who that is?
Just Hormozi.
Okay, so how old are you, by the way?
26.
Okay, so you're baby.
Yeah, I appreciate that, dude. I feel like
that's amazing.
Miami and all the flashy shit I see, I'm dude, I need to have $1 billion right now. So.
No, but that's good for you, man. I mean, so Sam Ovens was one of the first like gurus.
Yeah.
He owns consulting.com. He's also the owner of School.
Okay.
Which is, Hormozi's.
Yeah.
He built it.
Wow. Oh, okay. So
he's like the OG guru guy.
Yeah.
So I remember I think his course was the first one I took when I was like early 20s. And man, he basically left me with this concept that I've never forgot, and it's the concept of the invisible hand.
Okay.
And basically, your product must be good, or bust. And basically, think of it this way: let's say I'm selling these cups, right? And I get really good at selling these cups, and I get tons of leads to look at this cup, buy the cup. Now the cup is where? It's in the hands of the customers, it's in the market, right? Well, guess what? If people are saying amazing things about this cup, when I run more ads, it's like a flywheel effect because people who bought the cup are now commenting on the ads, saying good reviews and pumping this up. And guess what happens? My cost per acquisition will actually go down.
Yeah.
Because I have people just raving about these cups. But if it's the opposite will happen. And so what you see happening today is, dude, you have all these like
everyone's an
consulting
online coach,
gigs.
Everyone's a guru.
Bro, it makes me like honestly want to gag when I see some of these offers.
Yeah.
Because they're so fake and such bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, you got a lot of sales reps. You probably see it all the time.
I had to stop.
There are so many sales reps that are like offer hoppers. I was on this offer for 6 months. We got it up to $400K a month, and then they went out of business. Well, why did they go out of business? Why would you not keep it? Oh, because no one had success.
Yeah.
Boom. Their reputation is killed.
Yep.
It's way too common, and you have all these sales reps. Honestly, and I've seen what you do and what you're teaching on. People should work for you or work for a company that has an actual product. These offer companies that are just like some offer without any actual product or service.
Yeah.
they're all going to die at some point. They're not real companies.
Yes.
Like, I hate to say it, but it's true. They're not real companies.
Well, and there's a gentleman, like kind of like a mentor to me. He's got a yacht around here. Sold a sober company, a sobriety company for $100+ million a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And me and my girl are on his yacht. And I share this story to people that, like, even like myself, the younger individuals, that I think the issue with social media right now is it's very, I don't know, it's very sexy and like attractive to everybody with the mindset of like, man, that looks like money I could like grab onto and like build something. All I just need to do is be a coach. We're on his yacht. He pulls us to the side. He's like, look at all these yachts. He's like, you know how many of these people are online coaches that own these yachts? They're like, I don't know how many. He's like, 0.
Yeah, wow.
Like, nobody here. Like, he's like, everyone here built a legit business.
Wow.
Sold a legit business or is still running a legitimate business, a legitimate offer, a legitimate product, and they ate shit for 10 years. Like a give or take. You know what I mean?
You need
There's
to.
some unicorns that hit 4 or 5 years, but like 90% or like 10, 20 plus years of build real business. Because I'm just like, we just do life insurance. Not that sexy. Legitimate essential product. Variations of better products and everything like that. But it's like, dude, I tell my guys, I'm like, dude, I'm 6 years into life insurance.
But isn't that the biggest industry in the world, by the way?
It's one of the biggest industries in the world. So like, you know, people will be like, you know, the financial service, it's right between financial services and tech. So that produces the most millionaires. Is between those two industries.
That's insane. No, you're in a good spot, man. You're for sure in a good spot.
Yeah, bro.
I got a buddy that I'd love to introduce you to, by the way. He's also in health insurance, but he's not even close to what you're doing.
Yeah.
But maybe there's a play where, I don't know if there's a synergy or not, but I'll intro you for sure.
1000%.
Yeah.
So I love this with the lead generation, the marketing, and the legitimacy, and to sit down and hear you talk about, because that's been one of the biggest things I've been trying to combat with my following and the people I'm connected with is this fake shit's coming to an end. And I believe the FTC is going to start cracking down more on these bad offers and everything like that, because like actual legal action is going to come to these people that are like saying, hey, because from my understanding, and I don't know the actual legal breakdown, but when you make claims on social media through testimonies and different things like that, and I share life insurance testimonies, but there's proof to back it up. We have 1099s, we have actual results. But these online gurus making these claims, it can get super dark and fishy.
So I've seen it, by the way.
For real?
Yeah, it's actually happening.
So what does that look like?
So I don't want to say the guy's name, but I knew a guy that I met here in Miami.
Yeah. One
of the biggest gurus, like ever.
You
know his name. But
we probably will be able to say off camera.
I don't want to say it. But you'll know who he is off camera when I mention. But dude, he left Miami, and he says he left because he wanted to go live. And if I say where he is at, then it'll be obvious. So I'm not gonna say where he left. But
the Lord led me to leave.
I don't think he can like come back, or for like a long time. I don't know. But he basically got like sued by just so many people. It's like stupid. And in the end, he got himself in a situation where he owes like 15+ million to, I don't know if it's the government or these people but he's in trouble.
Dude, they don't play. You know what I mean? You get a couple civil lawsuits, but like the FTC,
dude.
Oh my God.
You can only sell a scamming service for so long. But you know what's crazy to me is the amount of people doing this, by the way. It's an absurd amount of people that are scammers today in the world.
Absurd, bro.
It's kind of like sad,
disheartening, especially for the ones that are doing the real work. You know what I mean? And then,
true.
Because then I'll lose sales reps and guys and people that's like, what's crazy is you look at it, it's like the same amount of time and energy they put into scamming, they could build something real.
100%.
They could be a solid sales rep. They could be a solid entrepreneur or an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I think the thing they want to skip, it's ego and insecurity.
Yeah.
Maybe they grew up as a kid and like they needed it so bad of like, I need to have the Lamborghini. Like, what if you just went an extra 5 years, 10 years of put your head down and eat shit? Dude. You could have the Lamborghini. It's $3,000 a month.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't think you realize how easy it is to attain that.
The thing I've experienced though, from speaking of that too, like you have a certain goal. Like, dude, all of us guys who are like hardcore entrepreneurs, like we like all this stuff. Yeah. Most of us do, right? Yeah. Like it's fun to get the Lamborghini or whatever.
It's part of the hunt.
It's part of the hunger and the hustle, and it feels good. But it's kind of, and this has been my personal experience. Some of the stuff I've gotten though, it's like, so okay, ClickFunnels. You use ClickFunnels, by the way, in your guys' business?
I have a ClickFunnel for my insurance resumes. So
okay.
I have websites connected to all of my platforms where you can go and apply to work for me.
Totally. Okay. So when we first got ClickFunnels, we've been using it for years and years.
Okay.
You know, they have like these awards.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I made $1 million to Comma Club, they call it, right?
Yeah.
So I remember thinking, oh my God, my goal at the time was if I can just make $1 million and, you know, get an award from Sam Ovens, like on stage at like ClickFunnels Live, was his thing. I thought that was like the coolest thing in the world. So what happened? We made $1 million. I thought I was on top of the world. I got the award. We did like an unboxing video. I was all excited. Oh, I made $1 million. Oh my God, look at me. I made it. I made it.
Yeah.
And then it felt really good. Okay. And then we made another $1 million. I got another award for another $1 million of another I think it was under Dish Show this time. Sorry, it was Misfit Media, and then it was Dine Line. I got another $1 million.
Yeah.
Right. So it was a new company, new award. And then I was like, we did it again, same unboxing, felt good, whatever. Well, man, we just crossed 25 million in sales recently.
Wow.
About 3 months ago. Dude, I got the award for 25 million, and I haven't like posted about it.
Yeah.
I just spoke about my event recently we had, but it was weird. Like the high is gone.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel amazing. I'm like, I made 25 million and I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I got the award and I was like, I don't need to like post it right now. I'll post it maybe at some point, but I wasn't like, I lost that excitement over it. The box came in the mail. I didn't even open it for like 4 days.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's weird. It's weird.
Yes.
What becomes your new norm. So like you get the Lambo or whatever it is. And then it's like amazing for the first month. And then you're like, oh, wait.
Yes.
It's just a car now.
That's why it's like,
you know, it's weird.
I posted this morning, don't get an entrepreneurship if it's a destination, because there is no destination.
Yeah.
It's always going to be a next car. It's always going to be a next jet, a next material. Elon Musk said something incredible, way more intelligent than what I'm going to try to convey right now. But he said, and he was using big words like neurologically, your mind, whatever, but the brain adapts to every situation. Yeah. Negative or positive. So that's why we're always, as humans, wanting more. And we have this dissatisfaction, and people have, you know, they don't have delayed gratification. That's why most people can't be entrepreneurs, because they can't endure the suffocation season, which is like, which is usually, I was telling a kid this right before coming over here. He's like, dude, my money's low on insurance right now. I was like, honestly, bro, like you might be looking at guys making $100,000 a month or $100,000 a week, and their money's even lower. Yeah. But what they've developed is the skill of breathing. Like entrepreneurial breathing of like, yeah, more money's going out than what's going in right now. Yeah. But you have to breathe through it and work through it and realize there's going to be ups and downs. But like your adaptability of the mind, it just continues to adapt.
Oh, 100%. It's really interesting on how quickly you adapt too. Yeah. And you're dating, right? Or you? Yeah. I saw you got a girl, and I do too. And the other thing I'll say is, dude, I think just having a girl that you can love and trust during this process is not like a plus. I think it's like a must.
A must.
Dude, it's a must.
It's a must.
Like I talk to her about everything. Yeah. And she's got her own business that she's doing now too. And it's so nice because it's also kind of like a lonely path, I feel like.
Oh my God.
Right? Yeah. When you're doing it on your own. Yeah. When you got someone that you can just bounce ideas off of nonstop, and you know, people like us, like we're thinking nonstop. Like we got to bounce ideas around. And it's when you got a girl that you love and you trust, and you can really talk about everything with. Yeah. It's literally, it's such a benefit to you personally, but also your business, I think personally.
And I think also if you know, we're anything alike, then having that different perspective that you trust so much can also save you not just money, but like relationships and energy of like, sometimes girls can pick up on like just toxic energy of like, stay away from that girl, stay away from that guy.
Totally.
They're just trying to use you. Or
dude,
like,
you're totally right.
We just had a call the other night and she's like, hey dude, I don't think you should spend with them because like, where's the proof? And she's grilling me on it. And I'm like, I'm like pissed. I'm like, damn it, I fucking like made another little stupid. But I was like, I told her this the other day. I was like, I feel like I grew another brain.
Yes.
With you. You know
ooh, that's interesting.
Like, I feel like I grew another brain with her.
Because I think women typically, I mean, they have just a better EQ than us. Yeah, like, let's just be honest. Like, you know, better. But it's just like, it's like getting someone's second opinion on certain things.
Yeah.
That's so different from you. You're totally right. You do have a second brain now.
Yeah.
You have a second brain, and guess what? That second brain has your best interest.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Yeah. Especially when you find a girl that genuinely loves you, because then they have like this protective role.
Yeah.
You know
true.
what I mean? I find my girl like trying to protect me. You know what I mean? So it's like, now if they have this protective perspective, they're looking at you. It's like, how can I protect my man? Because as we're the provider, we're the leader of the house.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, dude, I got like a little shield, almost like, you ever seen 300?
Yeah, I love 300. I mean?
Yeah, dude.
The
So
greatest.
That's like the vibe of like, all right,
dude, it's crazy
you know what I mean?
though. Like I was talking to my girl about this too recently. Like, you look at that movie 300, which like, I don't know. I don't think I know a guy that doesn't like that movie, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's one of the greatest movies ever.
The Camelot supporters.
It's just like hilarious, right? Like, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And dude, the reviews are like 15% or something on Rotten Tomatoes or something terrible.
That's because the liberals do that. I don't know if we can.
Right?
I swear they go. I will specifically
they do.
like watch trailers of movies where it's like bad reviews because I'm like, all right. What's probably happening is there's no political agenda in this.
Yeah, but that's the sad part. It's like nothing's real. Like, the other thing is, between the election. Like, hey, we got lucky. We got our boy in.
Yeah.
But the movie, have you seen Reagan yet?
I have not.
So it's about Ronald Reagan, his life. You probably have seen the trailer, but dude, it's like also terrible ratings. Well, it's a huge promotion for the Republican Party.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, hey, the election was just recently. What are the liberals? They don't want that getting out. This amazing story about how he fought communism and is now here.
Yeah.
They don't want that story getting out.
Yeah.
Like, it's like nothing on Rotten Tomatoes, but then you look at the audience score, it's like 99%.
Yeah, dude.
It's crazy. We live in a world where nothing is real. You have to think critically about everything that you're reading and ingesting.
And it's sad because you almost like, especially over these last few years, I kind of developed this mindset of like, when it comes to news for me, I need direct source information. If you aren't involved with whatever you're claiming that's happening, I'm not going to believe the source. Like I need either direct or indirect. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So it's like, I need to know like my girl, she's from Israel. You know what I mean? So her family, she has family that lives there. So it's like, I'm not going to take this Hollywood person's like, hey, this is what's happening over there. Hey, this is what's happening. No, it's like my girl just call her family and I'll like, okay, here's what's actually happening
for sure
over in the Middle East. You know what I mean? It's a super sensitive subject, but like that's how I do business. That's how I do news and politics is who's involved.
Yeah.
Show me the receipts. Because I've been bamboozled, you know what I mean? So many different times of like, hey, we're doing this. Almost like all the marketing guys. Hey, we can do this for your ads. We can do this. Like, show me the receipts.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah. It's what's I guess what's sad for me to see though is we're talking about this right now and we're very aware of it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, they're not just not aware of it, but they'll fight what we're saying. They'll argue with it. They'll say no, this is true. The fact checkers are legit. Yeah. And I'm like, how can you be this stupid? How can you believe that? It's shocking to me. And what was the most shocking to me, I was in California, right? So like, dude, California people are just different. Like they are so easy to what I saw with COVID. Oh man, like,
oh my God,
dude, people like it was brainwashing. Yeah, and I witnessed it, and it kind of made me feel like negative about like human society in general. Yeah. I saw people all the time, stuck in traffic, alone in their car with a COVID mask on.
Yeah, with the COVID mask.
I'm like, are you that stupid? Like, it's really hard for me to understand. Truly, I just, but it was more common than you think.
Yeah.
Or I'm not even joking. You probably saw these on like memes on Instagram. People literally would have COVID masks with like a hole
in the mouth,
and they'd go to the restaurant and they'd open it and then they'd eat.
And then you would hear
open it. I'm like, what the fuck?
You would hear that, and then you would, more importantly, you would hear the mask don't do anything. You know what I mean? Like there's like scientific proof that there was only like one type of mask that actually even prevented you,
dude,
like, from doing anything. But because you would breathe, you'd see someone take a big vape hit, and it would just go through the mask.
Dude, like, oh my God, you're so right.
You know what I mean? Like you thought the germs weren't gonna come in and out.
Oh my God, you're so right. It's hilarious.
You know,
it's so. Man, it's just strange for me to have witnessed this. Yeah. And I don't know, man, this was also another reason I had to change my environment. But here's where it actually gets crazy. So I left California, I came here, October 2022. I was here for 3 months. I had like one good friend. I made tons of good friends, met so many people, was going out, went on a lot of dates, had a great time. Miami being single, it's different animal.
Right? Yeah.
So then I go to Brazil every year, and I've been going to Brazil for years and years. So
why'd you go to Brazil?
I just, one of my best friends in college is half Brazilian, half American.
Yeah.
And I think the first year I went was 2018. Yeah. And I went with him for New Year's. He's like, you're gonna have a ton of fun. And I had the best time ever, like literally of my life.
Yeah.
And I just fell in love with the country.
Is it dangerous? You know what I mean? Like, I know they were going through some type of political issues.
So they still are dangerous. There still are political issues.
Yeah.
The country has a lot of work to do, for sure. But the people and the culture and the food, man, I love it more than anything. Like it's one of those things where I've been to over 30 countries, and I've never been to another country where I could go somewhere and not know anyone yet feel so incredibly welcome and at home.
Yeah.
And Brazilians, like, I was learning Portuguese, right? And I would try to speak Portuguese, and man, they're so encouraging. They'd say, you speak great Portuguese. I know, I barely speak anything. No, but keep going. You're amazing. This is so good.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Like, you got to try this. You got to try that. Like, there's such a welcoming culture.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is like, man, it's like, I loved being the foreigner.
Yeah.
I loved being the gringo in Brazil, right? It's just fun. Like, you feel so different. And like, just how we're having a conversation about all these interesting things, like every single person I met, I felt like I learned something interesting from, and they learned something interesting from me. And like, our cultures are so similar, yet so different at the same time.
Yeah.
You know? The last thing is, you said your girl's Israeli, right? My girl's Brazilian. And, I got nothing against American girls.
Yeah.
But I just think sometimes like couples that are from multiple backgrounds.
Yeah.
There's something more exciting about it.
1,000%.
Like, there's just so much you can learn from each other.
I wish I never met any American girls.
Man, I mean, I hate to say it, because like if any girls listening, the American girls listening, they're like, oh my God, like fuck these guys.
I don't hate it.
But I'm so happy I'm not with an American girl.
Yeah, dude.
And I'm not even sad to say it. It's just the
truth.
Not
sad at all. And the reason I'm so excited for the next 4 years, because I don't know much about politics. Yeah. I'm not a genius when it comes to economics. You know, like, people are talking about the tariffs are going to be a bad thing. Like, all these liberals, like, you don't know how the tariffs are actually going to increase the cost of products here. I'm like, I honestly don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the culture to come back.
Oh man.
The pride of nationalism, of believing and loving your country.
Yes.
And when I talk about loving foreign people, and why I think foreign women are the way to go right now for young men, is because the culture of America has been divided over these last couple of decades.
Oh man,
where your
so
average
true.
household is growing up in my situation. So you know that you have that single boy or man in the house, and you have that daughter that's not being raised with a male figure, and it's biologically scientific proof. Like, it's proven.
Yeah.
If there's not a male figure, it typically breaks something apart in
you're so right.
the girl's brain, and then it's like, so like the first question I ask is like, hey, how's your relationship with your dad? We're like this. My family's together. I was like, oh, okay, awesome. We can date. I'm in love with you. I'll marry you. You know what I mean? She's like,
no, you're so right.
And then it's like, I believe women can change, because I always tell my sisters, like, you're the last good American girl. You know what I mean? Because like, she is, faith-based woman, just absolute pure angel. My sister's the greatest girl in the world.
Yeah.
And she's actually engaged to my business partner, who I'll kill if he ever messes up.
Oh wow.
Anything. So
wow.
Yes. Yeah.
That's amazing, man. No, it's I can't even describe how much better they are. I mean, foreign women.
It's the culture. It's the culture. Because I used to think, like, why? Because I used to look at the recipe. Because for me, I don't think I've been.
Dude. Okay, here's an example. In LA, so I was raised to be a gentleman, open the door, whatever, all these things. I kid you not. I'd be in LA. I'd offer to hold the door open, often, right? That's what you do, be a gentleman, dude. Many times. Some girl walking in, she goes, I can hold my own door next time. Thank you, though.
Well, hold it, Deborah.
Well, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm like, what the hell, dude? Yeah. So I think why I liked Brazilian culture too is it's more traditional in that sense.
Yeah. Love it.
The other thing you just said too, by the way, is like your sister is faith based.
Yeah.
Dude, So like I grew up Christian. I grew up Catholic actually.
Yeah.
And then I always went to church growing up. I went to like a Catholic school growing up.
Yeah. I went to a Montessori school for a little bit. We had nuns.
Oh wow.
Like Catholic nuns.
I think we had nuns. No, we did too.
My 4th grade year, I had 4th and 5th grade. I think a little bit of 3rd.
Some
I had
nuns.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a nun house
crazy,
to our school
with like the stick and everything like that.
Yeah,
like crazy.
We didn't have the sticks, but we had nuns. So like, man, going to Brazil. So I naturally, some people like drift away from God or whatever, over the years. So I Brazil also, I think, kind of brought me back to faith a little bit.
Yeah.
So my girl's very religious too. So we started going to this church that she liked in Brazil.
Yeah.
And, I would understand a lot of what was said, but not everything. And especially like church in Brazil, they're speaking like old Portuguese, Portuguese, which is different than Brazilian Portuguese too. So I was getting like kind of lost in the sauce, often. But there's one thing I really felt, which was, dude, like there's a lot of spirituality there. Yeah. And there's a lot of faith, and there's so much faith that I didn't feel here.
Yeah.
And then we came basically here after we were going back and forth to Brazil and Miami. And then we came here, and then she found this other church with VUV. Are you to VUV? Been before?
No, but I know the pastor because I watched
Rich.
Stephen Furtick.
Yeah.
And he's like, sometimes he'll cover on Sundays for
nice.
Stephen Furtick.
Yeah.
So yeah, we watched the YouTube church.
The other thing is just like, well, also here in Miami, like there's so much faith here. It's really cool. Like LA, and California in general, dude, there's like no God.
Yeah, it's
there.
like darkness.
It's like very dark. Yeah. And like, again, I wasn't, dude, now I go to church almost every Sunday, but like for years I was just kind of absent from it.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like I just kind of drifted away because no one was doing it. Right.
Yeah.
And I just think that like, it's like you said earlier too, like there's like, are you influenced to go do something? Are you motivated, or are you sometimes have to get your back against the wall in certain situations. And I felt like I was comfortable in California, but I wasn't growing. And I felt like I needed to grow in a number of areas. And I think
scary.
Leaving just really unlocked something for me. Yeah. Really. Yeah, and whether it's faith, business, girl, all these upgrades just happened when I left, which is crazy. So yeah, man, I'm very happy to be here, but it's I think people kind of get in a trap. The other thing is people feel like, oh, but all my friends are here, all this. It's like, dude, you're not a tree. You can fucking move. Like, dude, like find a new job. Like do something, whatever. Like leave your environment that you're in, that you've been in for 10 years. Try something new. Yeah. If you hate it, you can always go back and you'll appreciate that place more.
1000%.
That's it.
Yeah, 1000%.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Sick. Man, as we start to wrap up, I think we really hit on everything. So intrigued with the business and everything that you've built. You're going on, almost 2 decades of building businesses. Yeah. Right? Almost 20 years of building businesses.
It's crazy.
From a young age and entrepreneurship and to the success that you've had now and your personal life, your family life, to building up the business. What's let's wrap up with the future. What are the next, and I'm not a very detailed, hey, this year I'm going to do this, that year I'm going to do that. What's your future vision look like?
So we have a really strong plan, and I'll try to make it as short as possible. So our company mission is to bring transparency to the restaurant space. Yeah. And it's transparency between the guests and the restaurants they choose to dine at. Transparency in like what they eat, what you're eating, right? For example, I have this terrible habit of I like nicotine. Yeah. Well, on this pack of nicotine, it says this is nicotine. It's an addictive chemical. Might not be the best for you. I think it actually has a lot of big benefits, but that's another conversation.
I smoke a cigar a couple times a week. Yeah. I think it's a combination of all.
Yeah. All I'm saying, you buy a pack of cigarettes, better example. It's like, yo, this is going to kill you. Yo, chill out, right?
Yeah.
But why don't Americans know what like a seed oil is?
Yeah.
Right? Or why don't they know about all these dyes in their food that are literally causing cancer? Yeah. Right? And making people dumber, right? Or the dangers of fluoride in our water, right? All these
amounts
things.
Of sugar and stuff.
Oh my God, it's crazy.
Heart disease, I think, kills more people in the world than anything else.
Dude,
or at least in America.
Americans are fatter, dumber, and more depressed than they've ever been in history.
Yes.
If we continue on this same trajectory that we're on right now, by 2030, more than 50% of adult Americans will be obese. Not like
I think
fat.
That's now.
We're almost there.
If you leave Miami's the only place with 6-packs. Anywhere else, I'm like,
Here's one thing I'll tell you that's going to actually, you're not going to believe me when I tell you this, but it's true.
Yeah.
just over 20% of American adults are illiterate.
Wow.
They can't read.
Wow.
Like, I'm not making that up. They can't read.
I've heard Hormozy say different things like that.
Man, American education, the American education system right now is
garbage.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Holy crap. So we're fatter, dumber, more depressed than ever. So where am I going with this? Dude, I am not a restaurant marketing agency, and I'm not just going to be there forever. We're not building a restaurant marketing software tool to help you grow your business. We are doing those things right now. But where we're going with this company is we're building a social app, actually.
Wow.
And the social app will be launching middle of next year. And the intention of it is to allow you to go to a restaurant, view the menu, filter it to your dietary restrictions. And it's not just based on what the restaurant like says. It's the actual facts. So we have access to their supply channels. We know where they're buying everything.
Wow.
We can verify it's real, and you know what you're eating.
Dude, I'm so sold on that. So like my girl's she put me on like pure whole foods in regard to like lifestyle of like, we won't go eat somewhere and she will tell them no oil, no butter on my steak, put everything on the side.
But there's good butter, by the way.
Oh yeah, no, we're 1,000% butter.
Yeah,
when it's from a farmer's market and we know like, dude, where is it from?
There's so much bull crap. So like you look at also like the food pyramid.
Yeah,
right.
Oh, it's horrible. They have like Lucky Charms on there.
Dude, it's like it's crazy. The food pyramid, when it first came out, well, the first proposition for it.
Yeah,
I forget the woman that proposed this, but it was actually pretty accurate. It was like high protein, fruits and vegetables, little bit of carbs.
Yeah.
The U.S. government denied it and sold to the highest bidder, which was Kellogg's.
Wow.
And Kellogg said, no. Actually, let's put carbs as the number one thing you should have. Breads and cereal and all their crap.
Yeah.
We've been sold propaganda. And literally since the food pyramid came out, we've gotten fatter, dumber, and more depressed.
Yeah.
And so my goal is kind of aligned with RFK.
Yeah.
I want to completely destroy those institutions.
And the hormories.
Oh yeah,
testosterone level is half of
what
it
man,
used to be.
It's terrible. It's so
estrogen
sad.
And the women, their endocrine system, everybody's like hormonal system has been attacked by the foods.
So I'm really going after that, and so
that's so incredible, bro.
I'm so happy about the election results because I feel like you said earlier, like there's like this energy right now. I feel like in our country, like I was driving on the way here, and there was like this giant American flag.
Yeah,
and I literally just felt like. We're back.
Yeah,
like we're back.
You want to put the national anthem on? I probably listen to the national anthem.
That's amazing. I love that.
Dude,
I mean, that's why we have these hats, right? To make restaurants great again too.
I was raised in the country. You know what I mean? Like on a farm.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
You ever seen Django?
Yeah.
Dude,
great movie.
My dad's black, but like we're like black cowboys.
Yeah.
So like
Django's a great movie.
A bunch of like black cowboys. That's what
I love that.
Yeah, bro. So like I love America so much. I love the country so much, and just being like I don't know, dude. I love this nation. I
love it too, man.
You know what I mean? I'm excited.
I'm so excited, and I feel the same way that you do, but I haven't felt that way in the last 4 years.
It feels like a revival.
It feels so good to be back, dude.
Yeah.
And so I want to change. I want to fix the food problem in America. Is what we're at, and yeah, man, we're gonna have some really big events you gotta come to.
Dude,
by the way, coming up.
I'm like sad. I can't. Everyone I've talked to about, you're like, he just threw the best party in the world. I'm like, where was my invite? Jason's over here telling me about the party, and I'm like,
he was there.
They were like, he rented out the whole place.
All swan. I know. Next time you'll 100% be there.
Yeah, I got to be there. So, hey guys, where can people find you? If I have some guys watching this, my best friend growing up, he owned a restaurant. So Italian. Amazing. So like, where can they find you? How do they get a hold of you?
On Instagram, it's at Brett Linkletter is mine.
That's the easiest place.
That's probably the easiest.
Yeah, Brett Linkletter. I think we'll try to have that in there. Make sure you guys get a hold of him. So this was awesome. Yeah. Hey, Brett, thank you for the hat. If you guys, I don't know, zoom in on there.
Absolutely.
We got Make Restaurants Great Again. He sees me always wear my MAGA hat, so we're gonna get our picture and everything like that. Make restaurants great again. Let's go, guys. Peace.